All set? You guys all set? Congratulations.
Thank
You
you.
guys went undefeated this season, ended in a Big Ten championship. How, just talk about the sense of accomplishment you guys really achieved this season.
Yes, I feel that our group feels tremendous about the accomplishment that we've had up until this point. Just to actually have a season is an accomplishment. In what we were facing in the summer months, last season losing our season, and then we didn't know that we were going to play until a week before we started. We were obviously training towards that, but we were just relishing in each other, the opportunity to practice together. That was a win for us every day. So for our players to have gone out there and done what they've done and represented this athletic department in such an amazing way, I'm really proud of them. I'm not sure they understand the gravity of it at this point, but it's a huge accomplishment to be in the place that we're in. But now you draw the line in the sand, and it's a whole new ball game. So we're excited about going out there and proving ourselves again.
We take one quick step closer to the mic, if that's okay. You have the second seed, and you guys get to host the first and second round. How much of an advantage is that, getting to be at home?
It's a huge advantage. We have won a lot of championships in our history, but over the last number of years, we haven't had as much success at the highest level, making the Final Four. And in 2019, that was our last Final Four appearance. We talked a lot about the regular season, how important that is to creating a good seed for yourself, and what an advantage it is to play at home. So we're very excited that we've put ourselves in that position, and then now Sunday it's about taking advantage of what we've done.
I think you guys made the tournament like 17 straight years or something like that. Just knowing what you've accomplished, man, and the streak that you guys have going, how do you make sure that your foot stays on the gas coming in?
I think that we have to just focus on the little things. That's what helps us, create our success. We're not focusing in on winning or the scoreboard. We're focusing in on all the little things that have gotten us to this point and what we need to execute, and, just really enjoying the experience and being grateful for the opportunity that we have.
I have to double check my notes here because you own the top scoring offense in the country, leading all of college lacrosse in points per game, draw controls per game, shots on goal per game. Where does that come from? Is it just the pure talent you have? Is it the work ethic? Is it how you train, practice, or is it the chemistry?
I think that comes from all of those things. I think it's a mentality to be able to go out there and feel that you can take risks on the field, feel that you can accomplish anything you want. I think it's partially the way that we train, and we're not afraid to take chances. We're not afraid to rely on every single player and have them all impact. And it's our team. A lot of people talk about Izzy Skane being the most prolific scorer, but I personally think that you're only as good as the people around you. And I think the reason why Izzy is so prolific is because all of the players are around her, and how dynamic our group is this year. And I think that has helped us during the preparation months to put ourselves in a great spot, and to really, I talked to Pat Fitzgerald before the season started, and the best advice that he gave all the coaches was get a good start to the season. It takes a lot of discipline in this COVID environment, and that was our goal, to just really get a good start and build that momentum. And I think every player has done that and really committed to that.
It's completely feasible that you guys come out of the tournament as champions. Have you talked to your players about what that entails and how you go about it?
Yes, I think the biggest thing that we're focusing in right now, we know we have the talent. It's just the mentality of what it takes to, go out there and perform when your season is on the line, and just really enjoying the experience. I think that's a big part of it, staying loose and just, playing fearless like we've always done. We don't want to change that just because, it's win or go home at this point.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
Tell us a little bit about this past Sunday, Selection Sunday. What was the atmosphere like in here, and what was your reaction to hearing about that number 2 seed?
Yes, Selection Sunday was, great. We actually watched the show in here up on the big screen, and it was a lot of fun for our players to actually, see that other people are acknowledging the work that they've put in. But really, truly, as an athlete, these are the moments that you play for. So to actually see your name up on the big screen and to realize that you're in that moment, these are the things that we've been working towards our whole entire year. That's a really exciting thing and something that I think we appreciate it as a group.
What has preparation been like this past week in the atmosphere at practice?
Sure, yeah. After the Big Ten championship, we just sat down and we talked, and we talked about the importance of every single person and the energy that they bring, and just really committing to getting better over the 2 weeks that we had to prepare for this weekend. And we've really just tried to utilize every second of it to reinvent ourselves and really just be better every time we step out on the field.
And I know you guys have spoken a lot about not necessarily focusing on your opponent. How do you think that mindset is helping you going into this weekend, especially not knowing who your opponent is until tomorrow?
Yeah, it's we've been in this situation before. In 2019, we had this same situation where we didn't know our opponent. One day of preparation, but we're preparing. I think the girls are aware of the two teams that we could potentially play, and I think in this moment it actually helps you to just kind of keep the focus on yourselves and not get overly focused on the other team. And so that's really been our focus all season is be aware of what the other team does, but the focus is on us, and if we do what we can do, we're going to put ourselves in a great position for success.
Are there any particular things you want to work on for the Big Ten tournament, especially heading into Sunday's game?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that, we wanted to be able to have a quicker start. I think that both of the games in the Big Ten tournament, we went down, and just jumping off a little bit faster, I think is something that has been a focus for us throughout the 2 weeks.
Coach, when your team made the Final Four in 2019 and then linking to this season, fighting through COVID-19, making an undefeated season in 2021, have you seen any parallels? Obviously, it's early in kind of the tournament starting up, but have you seen any parallels between your 2019 squad and the 2021 team?
Yeah, I think the one biggest parallel is strong leadership. I think in the 2019 season we had really strong leadership, and I think that is very similar to this year. And I think that leadership, you see it on display when we have the games, but it's been on display since we ended our season last March, to me. And I think that, if you're going to have a successful team at this level, it takes great leaders to be able to really, guide us where we need to go on a daily basis. And I think our group has really done that. I think the exciting part is a lot of people that were on the 2019 are still on this team because of the fifth year opportunity. And I think that they feel some regret towards that, and they want to get back there. They know that all we have right now is Sunday, and we have to win that game to get us closer to that moment. But I think that this team really believes in themselves, and they're ready to do what it takes.
You spoke about the 2019 veterans who are still on the team. Can you talk about what they've been kind of doing to help the team get in the mindset before the tournament, and also who some of those veterans are and any kind of specific actions that they've done that stand out to you?
Sure. Obviously, I think our captains come to mind, Ali Palermo and Lauren Gilbert. They've been through this and really been leading, doing a tremendous job throughout the season. Lindsay McCone comes to mind as well, as someone that I've asked her to switch her positions this year from attack to midfield, and just has been so unselfish and so strong on the field, doing all the little things that it takes. And obviously, like Izzy Skane being such a big scorer, I think that, she's ready to step up at any moment. And I think that, when you get in these types of situations, you need your best players to go out there and to just lead the charge. And, that's what they're prepared to do.
How has your team kind of altered the switch from this conference-only schedule from regular season to the Big Ten tournament to now the NCAA, kind of where you're playing teams from across the country? Has there been kind of any mindset adjustment that you've seen?
I just think it's excitement. We've played the Big Ten teams, almost all of them, 3 times, and it's exciting to play the Big Ten teams a bunch of times, but it's also exciting to get someone new and fresh and see how we can fare against them. I think there's been a lot of criticism of the Big Ten and the strength of the Big Ten because they haven't played other teams across the country. So I think all the Big Ten schools are very excited about this weekend and seeing how we fare against the other competition. I think probably Denver and Stanford are in the same boat. They probably feel that they want to kind of prove themselves too, just being non-East Coast teams. So I think there's probably that common denominator between all 3 of us.
I asked you about this after the regular season win against Michigan, kind of, especially after the Big Ten tournament, winning it number 2 in the country. What do you think the country, especially since you talked about kind of the perception of the Big Ten, what should the country and the NCAA tournament field know about your team?
I think that they should know that we're gonna work hard till the last whistle. We're gonna put it all out there, and we really believe in ourselves. It's just a matter of going out there and having fun and performing at this point.
Your team back in, you had an amazing run, 2007 to 2011. What about this team reminds you of those championship teams back then?
I think that it is very hard to go undefeated. It's a very difficult thing. I've seen it, especially when you're playing the same teams over and over again. It's very hard to beat a team 3 times. And so, from my perspective, just kind of thinking of my other 2 undefeated squads were my 2005 team, my 2009 team. Those squads had tremendous chemistry, relationships with each other, and they also, just really were extremely hardworking groups, and they played fearless. And I think this group kind of has that same type of mentality. Any of my championship teams have things that you can take away that would be similarities to this team. And I'd like to think that, like, as a coaching staff, we've kind of melded all of our experience from all of those years of winning into this group. And I think this group is really special. But, there's a lot of competition out there, and we know that, and we gotta go prove it.
Coach, you have the potential to coach against a former player on Sunday if Stanford were to beat Denver tomorrow. What have you seen from her in that head coach role, and what will it be like to coach against her in the tournament?
Sure. Danielle is a tremendous person, tremendous coach. She not only played for us, but she also coached under me. So, I'm really happy for her in the role that she's in. She's doing a tremendous job. We actually played them in 2020. We played Danielle when she was at Dartmouth in 2019, and then at Stanford in 2020. So I feel like there's a familiarity there. Always excited for my former players or coaches when they get opportunities to move forward and do their own thing. And I obviously wish her the best on Friday, but when it comes to Sunday, I know that she's gonna her team is gonna really fight fight hard as is ours, and it's going to be a great battle.
We were just talking with your coach about what it was like to go undefeated this season, win the Big Ten championship, and then now head into the tournament as the number 2 seed. How do you ensure that your guys' foot stays on the gas pedal going into the tournament?
Yeah, I think it's definitely exciting what we've done so far, but I think the main thing for our team is just to focus on ourselves and focus on the little things that are going to add up to us being successful. I think it would be really easy to look at the big picture and look towards championship weekend and all that, but I think we just have to focus on the small things every day in practice and the things that are going to lead to us being successful later in the season, hopefully. And I think that's all we're going to do is just focus on ourselves and make sure we're doing everything we can do to be successful day to day.
Another thing I was asking Coach is about some of the accolades and how you guys have been able to lead in scoring, among other things. She said it's not just about the talents of players individually, but it's about how you guys work as a group. Would you agree? And where does that start? Does it come from practice, the way you train? Is it just game chemistry? How would you describe it?
Yeah, I think for sure it comes from the group as a whole. I think if you have 10 good players who can't play together, you're not going to be successful. And I think we have a really good connection on and off the field, and we always have. And even bringing in new freshmen this year, it's been super seamless getting them into our culture and making sure everyone's on the same page of what we're trying to do and just how we're trying to be as a team and as a family. And I think that definitely translates onto the field. And we're all on the same page pretty much 24/7, which is super helpful in terms of being successful when it comes down to the actual lacrosse playing that we're doing.
How nice is it to be able to start out at home?
Amazing. It's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. My freshman year, we were lucky enough to do that as well, and it makes such a big difference just being on your home turf and not having to travel and just being around people that you're used to being around and having the support of your school and other student athletes around you. It's super, super awesome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Very good.
You spoke a bit about this with Calgary as well, but what was Sunday like for you guys? What was the atmosphere like in here when you found out your seed?
Yeah, it was super exciting. I think there was a lot of discussion around just with the Big Ten, and since we've only been able to play each other, what would end up happening with our seed. And there's a lot of social media saying a bunch of different things, but I think we just remembered that we can only control what we can control, and whatever ended up happening with the seeds and who we were going to play, we were just going to focus on ourselves either way. So it was super exciting to get the second seed and be at home and kind of be in that good position going into the tournament. But either way, the main focus kind of just stayed on ourselves and knowing we're doing what we can do, and that's the only thing we can control. We can't control what other people think of us as a team, just what we're doing every day to be successful.
And what has practice been like over the past week? What have you guys been focusing on?
Again, just like the little things and just locking down on things that, we've been lucky enough to play a lot of games, so we're able to see what the little things are that we need to fix, and also a lot of mentality stuff and just remembering each game going forward is the same as any other game we've played. We don't have to hype it up any more than another Big Ten game we played this season just because we're in NCAAs, and it's if you lose, you're out. But if you go into a game thinking like that big picture, it's usually you're gonna get a little outside of yourself. So we've just been focusing on, again, just the little things and focusing on being successful amongst ourselves.
And what are you most excited about moving outside of Big Ten play and playing some other conferences?
Yeah, we're super excited. We've all been talking about how excited we are to play some new teams and just play against new players and different types of style of lacrosse. I mean, we're going hopefully playing. One of the teams we're going to play is the West Coast team, and it's going to be super fun getting outside of the Big Ten and just seeing new teams and new players that we haven't got to experience so far just because we've played the Big Ten team so often. And, we're really excited.
Izzy, you and so many other members of the team being part of that 2019 squad that made the run to the Final Four, having that experience, kind of how is that impacting the team ahead of the 2021 NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think having a little bit of an older team and, like you said, girls that have experience in that kind of setting, I think we were able to learn from that experience a lot just because it didn't really go our way. And I think that's something we can all take and learn from and impart our wisdom on the younger girls going forward if we end up making it to championship weekend, just making sure everyone's on the same page and the same mentality of going into it calm and collected and learning from the mistakes we made last time. And, I think it's a huge advantage having girls that have kind of been in that position already getting to go and do it again.
Going back to the topic of conference only versus Big Ten play, kind of, do you feel like your team's going to need to make any adjustments after a conference only season?
No, I think like I said, the focus stays on us still. I mean, as much as you want to know a lot about the team you're playing, I think again it just comes down to what we're doing as a program and what we're doing as a team, and it's going to come down to the little things and making sure we're focusing on the things we're working on in practice and working on ourselves and not getting distracted just by it being a different team than we're normally playing. I think the focus just stays on us.
I asked you and Coach Monte Keller about this after the Michigan game. Kind of, now that the Big Ten tournament's over, you're the number 2 overall seed in the national tournament. But after playing a conference only schedule, winning the conference tournament, what should the country, what should the field know about Northwestern?
Yeah, I mean, they should know we're here to win and we're here to compete just as much as any other team in the country. And yeah, again, we're just going to focus on what we do best and hope it works out.
So you've talked about this before. You guys have mini great attackers.
Mm-hmm.
Teams attempt to shut you down, and you guys have goal scorers already.
Yeah.
How have you specifically found success in the moments where, especially say the Big Ten
Yeah.
championship games, how have you found success attacking in that role?
Yeah, I think it's super, super helpful. As I said, I'm sure before, just having so many girls behind me that can make plays and be successful on the offensive side. And anything I can do, even if they're trying to shut me off from scoring goals, there's so much more you can do than just scoring goals in terms of clearing space for your teammates or being a distraction so that other girls are getting towards the cage. And I think I'm super, super lucky with the people I'm surrounded by that are also amazing at what they do and will step up in moments like that. And just, just being able to do the little things that I can do to help them if that happens. And also they're going to help me in terms of if they're trying to shut me down. My teammates won't just let that happen. So, yeah, it'll be good.
Postseason with the Wildcats. What is on your mind as you head into this fifth and final postseason?
Yeah, I mean, postseasons are always really fun. Throughout my career, we've obviously progressed further and further throughout the tournament. So this year, if all goes well, like that means a championship game. Yeah, it's definitely really exciting, and it's still just as fun as the first time when I was a freshman. So being a fifth year makes it no different. It makes it more fun to be kind of like a leader and older and seeing how exciting the rest of the team is. So it's definitely gonna be fun.
You were on that 2019 team that made the Final Four as well. Are you seeing any parallels between that season and the work you put in this season and the chemistry you guys have?
Yeah, I mean, I think every year we have like great on the field, off the field chemistry as a team. So there's definitely some similarities with that. I think this year's pretty different in a lot of ways too. We're definitely work really hard. Like that 2019 year was the first year that we would come out like an hour before practice and put in our own individual work, and we're definitely still doing that. So in terms of our work ethic on the field, it is pretty similar, but this year has been different in so many ways and so many challenges. So definitely excited to see how it pays off in the postseason.
What has it been like being able to take this fifth year and finish out your career in this way in a full season?
I mean, it means everything. Like, obviously, when the season was taken from us, I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought I'd play my last lacrosse game, my last practice. So to be able to come back and not only get practices in, but to get a full season in is really incredible. Throughout the fall, like we didn't even know if we had a season. We didn't know if we had a game. And so even in the fall, it was like, okay, just play one game and it's worth it. But to be able to play every single game it's been really fun.
What are you most excited about heading into the postseason and playing non-conference opponents?
It's just going to be a challenge. It's different. Every team we play is going to be different. We obviously know the Big Ten teams really well just from playing them for the past 5 years, but it's going to be fun to play new teams just for ourselves and just for the level of competition and the challenges that that we'll face with it.
And what have you been focusing on heading into Sunday?
I think just staying calm. You get really excited when you're in the postseason, when you're about to play in a game. You haven't played in a game in a couple weeks, so staying calm mentally, just focusing on ourselves, focusing on the team. We obviously don't know who we're playing yet, so we really are just focusing on ourselves and being able to come out and play as strong as we possibly can from the first whistle.
In addition to your stellar season, you and numerous of your teammates are having career seasons offensively, defensively, kind of in addition to statistics across the nation. Kind of what's that like to be a part of that, seeing kind of everybody flourish as this team's the number 2 seed in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I mean, when someone on our team is successful, it means our team is successful. So it's been really awesome to watch the Izzies, the Laurens, the Allies, the Sammys of the world like come out and be able to like show that they deserve to be on this team and they're the best in the country. So being able to play with them on both sides of the field as a midfielder has been so fun because you're a part of all of it, and you're able to just help your teammates get better every play.
Do you feel like any kind of between that 29, this may have been asked already, but to that 2019 team making it to the Final Four and so close to making a championship, and now the number 2 seed with a ton of momentum heading into this tournament undefeated, do you see any parallels, especially since so many players from that 2019 squad returned?
Yeah, I think we just built off of it. Like we had that season. It was our first Big Ten championship. Like we kind of had a lot of firsts that year in a while. So we definitely are able to take what we learned from that season and build off of it and get better this year.
Playing in Evanston, what's that going to be like?
It's awesome. I mean, home field advantage is such an advantage. You're able to sleep in your own bed. You're practicing on your own field. You're playing with a lot more home field fans. It's everything. It's setting ourselves up for success for the rest of the tournament that we were able to get home field advantage.
You guys have been playing a backer defense mostly. What do you think that's so effective in stopping teams getting into their goal?
Yeah, I mean, a backer defense, it's basically you have the freedom to go out and pressure really high and play them a lot further out than you would in a man-to-man or non-backer zone. And so you have the freedom to be able to kind of take risks, knowing that there's a defender, your teammate right behind you. And it allows us to just trust each other a lot more. So I think that together creates kind of like a team defense mentality that stops the other team.
And Shelby Frederick is your assistant coach. Has she been a mentor to you guys through this run?
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate enough to play with her for 2 years, so I've definitely had that on the field experience with her as a leader and as a captain, and as kind of like a coach on the field from my freshman year to now. On the draw, it's incredible to have one of the best draw takers in the country in history to be able to teach us and kind of like be so creative in the ways that we're taking the draw and the ways that we're playing on offense. So it's been really cool and fun to have her as a coach too.
Lindsay, how's it been prepping for potentially two different opponents with not knowing who you're playing?
Yeah, we kind of had to do this before Big Tens too. First of all, it's great because that means we get a bye, so that's really fun and awesome. But I think it just means that we're just focusing on ourselves. Obviously, we can scout other teams as much as we want, but without knowing who we're going to play, there's nothing we can do all that specifically to them. So we really do just focus on our own team offense and team defense.
Can I do this? But first team All Big Ten honoree, Lauren Gilbert.
So tell me a little bit about what Sunday was like and what the atmosphere was like in here as you guys found out your seeding and watched the selection today.
It was really exciting. I think, like, obviously we didn't necessarily know what the outcome was going to be, given that we've only been able to play other Big Ten teams, and that kind of affects our RPI a bit in the eyes of the committee. But I think they did a really good job this year of being reasonable and kind of using the eye test, which they wouldn't normally do. So obviously we're really happy with where we ended up. I think that's what we knew we deserved, but we weren't sure what the ultimate decision was going to be. So we're really excited, but at the end of the day, like, it's just a number. We put ourselves in a great position to make it all the way, and I think that that's what we're most excited about, but now we just got to focus on the games.
I know you were telling me the other day about the potential for playing your sister on Stanford. What are you most looking forward to about that, should they advance to Sunday?
It's really exciting. I mean, like, she's my best friend and like my training partner at home, so I think, like, especially after everything we went through during quarantine, like training together and this being her first year of collegiate lacrosse, I think it would just be such a cool opportunity, and to have our parents watching us in the stands, it's just really exciting. Even having her just here after not being able to see her since winter break is exciting.
And I know you grew up in the West, which isn't necessarily a traditional area for the lacrosse. What is it like to have the potential to play two other Western powers, as well as being on such a power in such a non-traditional area for lacrosse? What does that mean to you being from a non-traditional area for the team as well?
Yeah, it's really cool to see such great growth of the game on that side of the country. I think even just like watching some of my sister's Pac-12 games, it's just really cool to see the level of competition growing in that conference, and I think it'll only continue to do so, especially like so many of the coaches in the Pac-12 are people that went through Northwestern or have been affiliated with Northwestern at some point or another, like Tim at ASU and Ann at Colorado, so, and then obviously Danielle at Stanford. So I think it's just like really exciting to see the coaching tree from Kelly, and then to see the growth of the game on that side of the country. Obviously, like, that's near and dear to my heart, and I just want to keep seeing it grow.
And what are you most excited about playing non-conference opponents?
I think just like new competition. I think obviously we proved that we were able to dominate in the Big Ten, but we have a much bigger statement to make in the tournament in terms of showing our dominance on a national scale. I think, you know, we're still seeing some skepticism in terms of what we're going to be able to do outside the Big Ten, and I think we just want to kind of put all that skepticism to rest and really focus on ourselves, but we have a point to prove and we have a chip on our shoulder for sure.
And what has it been like leading this team as a captain this season during such a phenomenal season?
It's been really, really rewarding, but also very challenging. I think COVID just added such an added layer of sacrifice that we have to make as student athletes. We sacrifice so much as it is just to be able to give our best here every day. And I think with COVID, it just added a whole nother level because we really were expected to keep everything within the team and do whatever we needed to do in order to stay negative throughout the year so that we could compete at full strength. So I think obviously I had to set the standard for that as a captain with my co-captain and the rest of my senior class. And that's a lot of pressure, but I think my class has handled it with such grace, and I think that's just trickled down to the rest of the team. So I'm really proud of the efforts that we've been able to make, and I think that a lot of what we're doing on the field is just an expression of what we've been doing off the field and how we've been carrying ourselves the whole year.
Going back to the point of your class and the tournament experience, kind of how do you think that mindset that you've experienced in years of 2019 in that Final Four run, kind of how are you guys kind of taking the leadership role and kind of preparing the players who haven't experienced that post-unique experience ahead of the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think experience and maturity is most important during this time of the year. I think having made that run in 2019 is such an asset to us, and especially we learned a lot from going to the Final Four and having it pan out the way that it did. Obviously, it was pretty humiliating at the time and not at all the result we wanted, but I think we learned so much from that experience just in terms of mentality, and obviously we'd never been there before, but Kelly even talked about the other day at practice, we've been in this position before, and now it's time to put in the mental preparation ahead of time so that when we get there we're not surprised and we know exactly what to expect. And I think having so much of my class on the field kind of leading the way and setting the tone is really, really key, especially when it's easy to kind of focus on the results right now. I think that it's brought definitely a big level of calmness to the rest of the team.
In addition to your great season, numerous of your teammates are having stellar seasons of their own, and this team's the number 2 overall seed in the tournament. Kind of what's it like, all that culminating, kind of seeing as the players are playing well, this team, as a result, is playing well as well?
It's really special. I mean, I honestly can't even put into words how surreal it is given how we felt a year ago, and not even just suddenly being sent home, not even being able to see each other, constantly just waking up in uncertainty, and even at the beginning of this year not even knowing if we would be able to compete in an NCAA championship. I think it really is surreal is the only word I can really use to describe it. And now heading into the tournament as a number 2 seed, fully vaccinated, it just it's all the pieces feel like they're falling into place. And like you mentioned, the team is kind of firing on all cylinders, and I think I just have the feeling of something special is about to happen, and I think that that's a choice that we have to make every single day as we continue to prepare. But I'm really proud of the position that we've put ourselves in.
Playing a conference-only schedule, going undefeated during it in regular season and postseason play, kind of what should the country expect from this Northwestern team when you start playing on Sunday?
I think dominance. I mean, that's our goal. Our goal is not to just beat teams. Our goal is to dominate everyone that comes in our path. And I think that when we step out onto the field with an attacking mentality of we're going to take the first shot, we're going to take the first punch, no one's gonna stop us. I think there's gonna be hurdles along the way. We've been up, we've been down. We were down in the first part of the Big Ten championship, but our will to win is unbreakable, and I think that's what's gonna carry us through.